Okay. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome, welcome.
It's January 2026 to a bit of everything, where we cover a little bit of everything, little current events, little things going on around the world. Getting a nice little mix. Good stuff, bad stuff, funny stuff, etc., etc. Little gazettas, little gazettas. But without further ado, let's go ahead and start this podcast going.
Let's
All
go.
right. First things first. Greenland is still autonomous, so they're still who they were a month ago. And of course, there probably is going to be another government shutdown come
Shut
February
down.
1st.
And they're
According
back
to
open.
Poly Market, it's right now hovering around 80%. So chances
DHS is
are,
shut down
we're
now.
going to have another shutdown. So be prepared for that.
And they're
All
funded till
these
middle of March.
for you government workers out there. All right, do a little quick sports rundown. The Super Bowl is set. Patriots versus Seahawks. That'll take place February 8th. It's another rematch. The Patriots
Seattle won.
won that the first time around. Let's see
Revenge
what happens this time
initiated.
around. On NBA, the Detroit Pistons and the Oklahoma City Thunder are the two teams in first place in the East and West, respectively. In the NHL, we have the Red Wings, Hurricanes, Avalanche, and Golden Knights. And the Australian Open fourth round just wrapped up. We still
Nope,
have
that's
a lot
over.
of Americans in there, so
We're all
we're
out.
still looking
We
like we
suck
can
this
take
year.
this thing, take it home. The Winter Olympics in Italy starts February 6th. And then we also have Mr. Alex Honnold, free climber. He got to the top of the Taipei 101 in just over an hour and a half. And you can watch that on Netflix. I don't know what's up with these free climbers. Like no ropes, no gear, nothing. It's just him and a bag of chalk. So there's that. Probably put the link somewhere for that as well. That's it for sports. I know there's other sports out there, but not covering that today. I'd like to switch gears and go and talk about gold. I know everyone knows what
Goldilocks.
gold is. Everybody's got their gold jewelry. Um, or you guys with the ball and chain probably spend a little bit of money on some of that
But
for the
she
old
deserves
lady.
it.
But gold is
Almost.
5,000 an ounce.
Oh, geez,
five
baby.
thousand dollars for an ounce of gold, and silver is over $100 an ounce. And
Not
just for
anymore. It's
reference,
back in the
last
70s.
year this time, gold was only 27.66 an ounce, and silver was only $30 an ounce. So gold almost doubled, and silver has more than tripled in price in just a
It's just
year.
a 2X now.
Looks like the definition of global instability to me. I don't know, but I wish I bought some more silver last year than I did. Going on to entertainment news, Timothy Busfield, 68, who is known for The West Wing. Before you Papa Smurfs out there, you would probably remember him in movies like Revenge of the Nerds and Field of Dreams. He turned himself in for a child sex abuse charge from allegations that he inappropriately touched a minor on the set
Yo,
of a TV series he was directing in New Mexico. He's currently out on bail, bond. Is that the same thing? I feel like they're both the same thing, bail, bond. But he's finally home, out on bail with his old lady. So until his court date.
keep it
Um,
moving.
82-year-old Julio Iglesias, the famous singer-songwriter and father of Enrique Iglesias, was battling some sex abuse allegations, which
Damn,
he
old
called
man.
absurd and untrue. Two women alleged that a sexual and physical assault happened back in 2021 in the DR, Dominican Republic, and Bahamas. This investigation was dropped by the investigators in Spain due to lack of jurisdiction. I would have thought they would have known that before they even tried to pick up that case. But so Julio's looking like he's in the clear for now, but we'll see how that goes with the other countries involved. This is a bit of old news. Lamar
You're
Odom,
old news.
don't know why I'm bringing him up. Former LA Laker, who was formerly married to Khloe Kardashian, was arrested on suspicion of a DUI in Vegas. Pulled over for allegedly speeding and not staying in his lane. He was seen out having a good time over the weekend, so I guess he's kind of over that already. It's not big thing that he really cares about. Now, I don't know what happened in this Uber with the driver, but whatever it was that caused Kiefer Sutherland, aka Jack Bauer, for you that remember him from those days, to allegedly punch and try to choke a driver before being arrested. I don't know if he was having a flashback to his days filming 24 or what, or maybe the Uber driver was looking for a quick payday. I don't know, but there was an altercation that took place. He got arrested, and I'm sure they're going to get to the bottom of that one way or another. Now, shifting gears onto some sad news. Former child actor Keanu Underwood, 33 at the time, former star on Nickelodeon's All That, passed away on the 16th from a hit and run crossing the street in Brownsville, Brooklyn. It appears to be an accident by the driver, but she was also struck by a second vehicle. The details are not good, but I will link them if you need to know, and you can look up the actual details of what happened. It's not a good look. It was pretty bad. Other notable passings recently was the rapper and producer John Forte, who was 50 at the time, also from Brooklyn, and the Grateful Dead's Bob Weir, 78, from San Francisco, and fashion icon Valentino's funeral, as well as the French Oui Oui icon Brigitte Bardot, Bibi, and also the famous South Korean actor Aung San Gi. I personally haven't seen any of his movies. He's a Korean OG,
Was
so I
he
know all
Bobby
the people in
Johnson?
Korea and South Korea are like, that was our guy. He did our movies for a long time, so he also passed. Staying in South Korea, the former Prez Yoon Sung Yeol received 5 years for his failed martial law attempt. Korea clearly doesn't play that. Um, what's even crazier is that this was only the first of several cases against him, where he's being charged with insurrection. They're looking for the death penalty. Koreans ain't playing around. They trying to put this dude down for good. Uh, Moving right along, Zootopia 2 is the highest grossing animated film ever, racking up $1.7 billion. Disney just keeps raking it in, man. More money, more money. And it's official for all you cougar hunters out there. The girl Nicole Kidman is officially single as her divorce from Keith Urban is final. So go ahead and get your stuff lined up and get tight if you're trying to holler at that. Now, on the music related news, J. Cole dropped a snippet of his new album titled The Fall Off, and that's supposed to drop February 6th. I listened to the snippets and I thought it was okay. It sounds like this might actually be a good album. Um, Additionally, your boy Harry Styles announced his new album, Kiss All the Time, Disco Occasionally. I'm not sure what that means, to be honest, but that
I mean,
album's
sometimes,
releasing March
duh.
6th. And now for you K-pop fans out there, which if you're a true K-pop fan, you already know this. The boys BTS is back as they announced their first world tour since serving their mandatory military service, Jingbyong, in South Korea. The tour begins in South Korea in April 2026 and wraps up in March 2027. And breaking news, which really isn't breaking anymore, but Fetty Wap is free, and I didn't even know that he was locked up, or I forgot that he was, one or the other. He served roughly 3 years of a 6 year sentence and is currently on home confinement. Now, with all those news out of the way, I like to get
Finally.
onto a soapbox topic of my choosing. And that
No.
topic is car related, mainly Corvette related. And if you're not a car person, you don't really want to get into that, and you want to skip ahead to my weekly update towards the end, which is like sneakers of the week and tip of the week, stuff like that, stock of the week, Q&A. You can fast forward to approximately, and I'll get to that.
Okay. Time to get into my soapbox, and I'm covering the Chevy Corvette C8,
Cause I sherry da da
the
levy,
latest
but the
iteration
levy was
version of the
dry.
Corvette. This one's actually groundbreaking, but for the people that don't know, this is the first Corvette where they actually put the engine in the back of the car. They call it the rear mid engine. The rear part of that name is because the engine actually sits in front of the back wheels, so it's closer to the center of the car and the cabin for better weight distribution, is what I'm assuming is the reason they did that way. This version came with a 6.2 liter crossplane V8 with roughly 495 ish horsepower, and 465 pound-feet of torque. They then released the Z06 in 2021, but switched to a 5.5 liter flat plane V8, making roughly 670 horsepower, naturally aspirated, which is a ton of horsepower out of a 5.5 liter engine. It's pretty insane. In the membrane. Then they released the E-Ray. I don't know, on their website they have them staggered backwards. I think it's because of they have them in horsepower number ratings or price ratings versus when they actually came out. But the E-Ray came out in 2024, and that one's a hybrid, first hybrid Corvette, man. It has the 6.2 liter V8, but it also has an additional 160 horsepower motor that's driving the front wheels, making this the first all-wheel drive Vet, and a combined 655 horsepower. And then, if that wasn't enough, they said, we're not done. We're going to keep on going. We're going to keep pushing the envelope. In 2025, they released the ZR1, which when that thing came out, I mean, it was like, what is going on now? That thing came out in middle of 2025 with a 5.5 liter engine, but they slapped two big old turbos on that thing, man. A pair of 76 millimeter Borg Warners, producing roughly 1,000 horsepower, man. 1,000. So they're crossing that 1,000 mark with everybody else now out of a Corvette. And for some reason, Chevy didn't even stop there, man. They was like, you know what? We did that. But that's not enough. We're going to go even further. So they decided same year, later that year, that we're going to go full tilt, put out a ZR1X, and this thing has the ZR1 twin turbo engine. And then they said, well, we're going to slap the E-Ray's electric motor on this thing, making this a hybrid and cranking out 1,250 horsepower at the crank. And you think, man, it's another 250 horsepower. It can't do much. But once you get this hybrid stuff going, man, there's a reason why all these manufacturers are doing this hybrid stuff to get the most performance out of a vehicle. And there's a bunch of other, add-on goodies that you can add on to crank up the price and make the car look a little better or even weigh a little less. So here's the breakdown for the price comparison and performance of the first three versions that were released: Stingray, the E-Ray, and the Z06. As you can see, the Stingray starts at 70 grand for that 495 horsepower, the E-Ray at 1086 for 655, and the Z06 at 120 and change for the 670 horsepower. And as you can see, they're outside of the Stingray, the E-Ray and the Z06 both are right around the same in performance. I mean, that's a negligible amount. Um, driver differences can make up that. They're significantly quicker than the Stingray, but still, the E-Ray and the Z06 are pretty close in performance. Me personally, I'd probably do the Z06 just because it's less electronics to worry about down the road if you plan on keeping the car long term. Having to deal with the extra weight and maintenance for the electric motors if anything goes wrong, blah blah blah. You know how that goes. But then for two monsters, I kept them separate because the price difference is substantial, and the numbers as well speak for themselves. That ZR1 is starting at 185 for that 1,064 horsepower, and the ZR1X is starting at 209.7. Now, once you get into these numbers for a vehicle, I think the $25,000 price difference is worth it for the performance you're going to get from the ZR1X versus base ZR1. I know the numbers for the ZR1X is listed at 1.89 and 899 seconds, but there's a YouTube video out there where this thing ran, I think it was like a 1.6 seconds 0 to 60 and like a 8.6 quarter mile, and that was like with on a cold track, with stock tires. It didn't even have like slicks on it and didn't, do like a full burnout warm up and all that crap. So I mean, the number difference is kind of crazy for just 200 horsepower, but putting that extra all-wheel drive package together, I guess, makes that big of a difference, man. These numbers are insane. I would like to experience how fast it would be to go that fast in a quarter mile. It's got to be insane, and I know it must be addictive. But yeah, whoever's got one of those or who's ever ordered one of those, more power to you, man. I would be jealous.
Okay. So now that all that's done, we can try and wrap this thing up real quickly. We're just gonna go through the weekly things that I update you guys on. We got a car tip, health tip, stock, recipe, scripture, and sneaker, and then we can wrap this whole thing up with a little Q&A and get out of here and hopefully close this thing out. All right, so first thing first, car tip of the week. Very simple. Anytime you're gonna jack your car up, if you got to change the tire on the side of the road, or if you're, do your other oil changes by yourself or whatever, always make sure that your e-brake, your emergency brake, parking brake, whatever you want to call it, is always fully engaged. If you get to do that, especially if you're on the side of the road changing a tire in some inclement weather, it's very easy for the car to actually roll off of your jack if you're not on flat ground, and you have yourself a bigger problem because your car will be on the floor wherever that wheel is that you took off. On to the second thing, health tip of the week. This is for all you folks out there that have acne issues, I'll say. And it's kind of funny because a lot of dermatologists won't tell you this, but if you have an acne issue, instead of going to taking all of these over the counter cleansers and all of this stuff, if you one thing you can simply try is to try and remove dairy from your diet and see if that helps. I know for me personally, it helps, and dairy is a big inflammation device that is known to cause acne in a lot of people. And most dermatologists, I mean, the ones that I've seen, don't normally, tell their patients this. They just want to, prescribe you, pills and creams and cleansers to use when it might just simply be a little allergy to dairy causing the inflammation and the acne. So that's one thing to try. If you can give up dairy, dairy is more than just milk and cheese. It's also um, butter as well, sour cream, anything that's milk based. But I wouldn't say give it up completely, but try to reduce it. Maybe if you drink a lot of milk, try and cut back on that milk and see if it actually reduces the amount of acne you get. I mean, anything is worth a shot. Plus, I also like the method of trying to save money as possible. So it's easier to remove something than spend more money to try and solve a problem. All right, on to number three. Three. That's a three, not a two. Three. That's a three. All right. Stock tip of the week. Stock ticker is KMB. It's a Kimberly Clark Corp. They do a lot of the, I guess, industrial cleaning type of supplies for businesses and office buildings and spaces like that. It has a 4.7% quarterly dividend and is currently trading close to its 52-week low, which I think is actually puts it in a good buying position right now. And it's a long term stock that you kind of just pick up, set and forget, and just reinvest those dividends and watch the stock grow without you having to keep pumping money into it or waiting for the stock price to go up real high. So KMB, stock tip of the week. On to number 4, recipe of the week. I don't actually have the recipe here, but I'm gonna say it's lasagna, however you want to pronounce it, lasagna. Um, who doesn't love lasagna, man? I mean, this kind of is counterintuitive for my health tip with the whole dairy thing and cheese, but I mean, lasagna is delicious. I'm not saying eat it every week, but every once in a while, it's not a bad thing, and it tastes pretty good, and it's even better the next day. All right, on to number 5, scripture of the week, and that would be from the New Testament, Matthew 6. I'm not going to go into any detail about that, but that would just be the scripture. Check it out. Matthew 6 in the New Testament, King James version, or whichever version is the one of your choosing that you like the most. Matthew 6 would be the scripture of the week, and then we go on to sneaker of the week. Not this one. Not that one. We can talk about that later. Would be this bad boy here. I'm probably gonna have my boy Blue talk about this. This would be that's this bad boy. Air Jordan 13 Retro Singles Day. This was which one was this? This was the China Singles Day Air Jordan 13s, gym red and black. The actual SKU on this one is, what do we have? 888-164-601. And these were actually only sold in China, so you have to kind of like have a plug, hook up, or whatever to get a pair of these. And they're actually pretty cool. Inside of that thing, a little 3D. Direct from China. I can't see that. It's just paperwork directly from China. I guess that's what you got when you got it from China. And this is basically, I'll throw some pictures up. For the podcast, you won't have pictures, but you'll probably have the link. Any true sneakerheads already know what these are, and some don't. I mean, they make a lot of sneakers and they sell them a lot of places. But these were one of the ones that had the reveal. So everywhere where you see the black with the little red in there, that was a reveal that you had to like rub off to get to display. Let's see what it looks like when you don't reveal it. It's all black. No reveal. You can see the difference. But so those are the sneakers of the week. I actually like those. I've worn them a couple times, not too much. I mean, they're all pretty much all suede, pretty much except for the tongue and the black reveal areas. Everything else is all suede. Pretty cool kicks. So that covers the top 6 right there. The only thing left is I'd like to do a little segment called "Tell them why you mad, tell them why you happy." And I'm actually happy because it's like I finally finished this first episode, minus the editing, of course. But yeah, this thing's finally about to be buttoned up. Oh man! So let me know, man, if you liked it, didn't like it. Tell me why you're mad. Tell me why you're happy. Definitely include you in the next one. And of course, I'm looking for sponsors. Of course, Nike would be a nice one. I got a lot of that stuff. And then also a Q&A. So if you guys have questions that you want answered, I am a knower of a lot, master of a couple. So Q&A, I'll do that as well. Leave comments, questions, and I'll cover that stuff. Until the next time, thank you. Please subscribe if you like it. Let me know. All right, I'm out.